Ingram. I'm a 27-year-old mother of a 5-year-old. I'm currently beginning my career in production, working on BET Season 8 of The Game. Also, I'm working on my first project. It's a documentary called Convicted Queens. One of my favorite quotes is, "A nation can rise no higher than its woman."
Alright, if I had to describe myself, I would say that I am a woman living life on her terms. By her definition, I wear many hats. I am a mom, I am a wife, I work in higher education, I'm also an instructor, I'm a womanist, I am a foodie, I love food, but one of the things that I'm most passionate about is the plight of women of color across the world. I'm very interested in the things they deal with on a daily basis and their struggles as well as their triumphs. So pretty much in a nutshell, that's me.
Okay. So hello everyone, thank you for joining me for my ladies panel. I'm Keisha Reaves, blogger, author, and fashion enthusiast, and I am joined with three of my great friends, Crystal, Keita, and Julia. And I have a couple of questions that I wanted to ask them just to get their insight on, to find out more on other women's thoughts on topics that kind of bother me every day. So my first question is for you guys, is what do you think of today's black woman? Do you think that she still has a ways to go? Do you think she is at the peak, at her prime? Or do you feel like we're still catching hell?
I believe when I hear today's black woman, I think black women are so diverse. It's so many levels to this. I think there's so many different types of black women. We're not one-dimensional, and I think that there are more opportunities today. So, you know, women are going in different paths, and I think that there's not one way to, or one category to put us in. I think we're so diverse today.
Sure, I agree. Because when I think of today's black women, I definitely think of diversity, versatility, and I don't think we necessarily fit in a box anymore. We have different groups that we belong to. Dating is different. I think that the leadership roles have switched, and you will see more black women as leaders, and I think we kind of own up to that and kind of feel like, yeah, I'm a leader, that's my thing, that's what I do, I'm a black woman. But then on the downside, I feel like we're still catching hell, especially like in dating and relationships, because with the element of the fact that we are leaders, you get stigmatized as being bossy, and men are intimidated. So I think at the same time, self-esteem plays a large part, because a lot of black women have low self-esteem and they pretend and wear this mask of being like this super confident woman when at the end of the day they're really not. So I think we catch hell. I think we're at our peak per se, but I think we can definitely go higher, and we're getting better and better and better.
I think this is crazy when we talk about black women, because you have the Michelle Obamas, and then you have the
Mimi Foss.
Right, and then you have the Mimi Foss, or you have the Wendy Williams, or you have the Condoleezza Rice. You have so many different types of women. So
we need that.
No, go ahead.
We need that. I don't think because you're a black woman you need to be put into a box. As I was saying in our previous conversations before all this, we're not monochromatic. Our vaginas do not come with terms and conditions and a contract. Neither does the color of our skin.
Right.
And once we accept that, and once we truly start defining womanism, which womanism deals with women of color, once we truly start defining ourselves for who we are and stop trying to live up to white male archetypes of what a black woman should look like, what she should sound like, we have to understand that we're a spectrum. You will have your Michelle Obamas and Condoleezza Rice. you're going to have your Black Chinas and your Mimi Foss. And one is not right, one is not wrong. And until we stop carrying the burden that all of us should look a certain way, sound a certain way, dress a certain way, react a certain way. Because for me, I used to cringe sometimes when I would be in the store and I would hear a woman of color that was just so loud. Automatically, I would just cringe like, oh my gosh, I hope they don't think I'm just like her. Because I think as Black women, we carry that burden. We carry each other on our shoulders. We carry Black womanhood on our shoulders because we feel like we're in this together, but we're really not in essence. So once we start saying, you know, I am who I am, I'm comfortable. If I want to be Mimi Foss, I can be Mimi Foss. If I aspire to be Michelle Obama, if I aspire to be Beyonce, whatever it is. And we also need to respect that. We also need to stop letting each other feel like, well, because I feel this way or I look this way, or, you know, or if I want to rock my hair natural and you have a perm, you know, oh, I'm better than you because I decided to jump on the natural hair thing. Or if you have a big booty and I don't, all of a sudden you're not a real Black woman because genetically you don't have a big ass. We need to stop punishing each other for being different. Once we stop doing that, then we can have a real conversation about Black womanhood, because we can meet each other at the table and we can sit down and we can talk to say, Crystal, we're different, but I see you, sister. I dig you. I dig what you're doing. It's so different from what I'm doing, but because you're so comfortable with me and Crystal, I respect that. That's the day when Black China and Michelle Obama can meet at the same table and she can say, hey, you got that blonde hair down to your ass, but you know what, China, I dig you because you're living, you're doing you. So I think that's where Black womanhood starts. So.
And to answer your question, with that being said, do Black women catch hell? We do. But I believe we catch more hell from each other than anyone else.
Nobody else.
So yeah, I believe we do catch
Definitely,
hell.
like the whole hair debate with what's the sports anchor from Sports and then the gymnast, what's her name? Right. So just
little blue eye.
Hello. But what's so funny that you asked that question, I don't know if y'all watch this show, but I'm a reality TV junkie. And after the Braxtons goes off,
I don't watch SWV.
No, not that one. No, that's not the channel. What is the show that I watch? And it comes on after that. I don't know. But there's this Girlfriend Intervention.
No, I haven't seen that.
What is that? That's a new one to me.
Girlfriend Intervention is a show of Black women coming to save this white woman and turn her into a Black lady.
Being Black is not an achieved status, it's an ascribed status.
Girlfriend Intervention it is. Girl, we are gonna work you and make you a diva because these Black women have come to save your frumpy white ass. Because being white is lame and being Black is hot. And a Black woman owns the room. She walks in there, her weave is always on point. She wears form-fitting clothes and heels every day. I'm like, what the hell is this shit?
But see, we're not in control of our own image, and that's the problem.
Because there are different Black women, four totally different Black women, totally different Black women, and the only people that they alter are white women. I think all the women that are on there have been white women, and they are like maybe like homemakers. And to me, everybody is the same. The only thing that makes us different is our color, pretty much. And everybody is on a different, you know, what you do at home. This is what you do at home. This is your life. This is your life. Just because you're Black, it doesn't mean that you live this lifestyle versus a white person. But I mean, I guess in society we do.
Well, since you brought up the point of, so thinking of the Black woman struggle outside of our own race, I feel like we're still catching hell. And since you're in the production industry and I love movies, I feel like it is a struggle for a Black woman to be an author, to be an actress, to be in Hollywood. There are no roles. All we have is Scandal. And we just got being Mary Jane, but she's on BET and BET has their budget.
And I don't.
And it's just like, why can't we have our Grey's Anatomy? Why can't we have our Game of Thrones and it be about Egypt or our African culture in Africa and not about roots? but just have like these black women, they're not on reality shows like Love and Hip Hop, but just can be your everyday generic black woman. Like, why can't we have that? But Denzel Washington can get a role and can get an Oscar before Kerry Washington can.
And this is why I say that feminist movement that so many black women jumped behind in the beginning, sister, that wasn't for you. Mm-hmm. That feminist movement of burning your bras, and that was not for you, because that did not take into account your struggle. That took into account the struggle of white women. Not saying women across the world don't catch hell. Oh, you born with that vagina, you gonna catch some hell. Mm-hmm. But at the same point, I think black women, that's where it comes, where we have to define ourselves and say, hey, if you don't want to put me in your movie because you feel like my features don't make me a lead character, or if I'm going to be in your movie, I'm going to be the typecasted, either crackhead or the over-sexualized person, or the overbearing mama, the Aunt Jemima type, or whatever. Exactly. We need to, and it comes with, we don't have control over our image and our portrayal. This is why people like Nicki Minaj feels like, in order to sell records, a woman that is amazingly talented, and even with Lil' Kim and everyone, there's a few that have done it without that. But think about what earlier female hip hop artists look like. They were in there with the boys,
with the dashikis.
They did exactly. Then Salt and Pepper came and they threw a little bit of sex appeal, and that was still cool. But you have to understand what our image are as black women. That when people see us, what they automatically think. It's either you have an attitude. It's either you're not educated, or you're just this sex symbol, and not a sex symbol in the point where it's respected. A Kim Kardashian is respected, regardless if she a Marilyn Monroe is respected. But Josephine Baker caught hell.
So how do we get in control of our image?
We got to define it. We got to step away from what people tell us is sexy. We got to stop thinking all of us need to look a certain way. We can't all look a certain way. There's so many different hues, so many different body types. So we can't punish a sister because she's not a size 4, or she don't have a big booty. Maybe she just got big boobs. Maybe she got extra boobs and she didn't get. We have to stop it. We have to say and accept that I look the way I look, you look the way you look, and we're all beautiful. You gotta take back that image. We all, if a sister has a perm, that doesn't mean she hates herself. Just because you got locks, that don't mean you love yourself or know anything about your culture. So we have to stop. We have to get those preconceived notion that just because she had a 30-inch weave down to her butt, that means she's ignorant and she's a party girl and all she does is hang out at the club. She can be just as educated, going through a PhD program, and just because you got your hair natural in a fro doesn't mean you care. Doesn't mean you care about, what's going on with the cause.
Because you can definitely be the party animal with your afro.
Exactly.
So I think once you define it, I think another important aspect is to unite. Money is important. And I know it's a root of all evil, but I think that, when we have money, power, we need to unite. Once it's defined, unite, and start putting our own things out.
Yeah.
I think that's very important because a lot of these networks, we know who are behind them. So you have to
so if we have BET, and I don't have anything against BET.
Right, and I'm not going to talk about BET right now because I'm working for it.
I don't have anything to say about BET, but how can we have a channel that's not segregated and has a budget to have something that is of quality?
Well, I like YouTube. I think YouTube is a great pioneer and it's a great outlet because you have people like Issa Rae, who has her own channel and who has a show, Awkward Black Girl. What would be something to what you're talking about with taking out that stereotypical black girl and what she looks like and what her typical role is, because on Awkward Black Girl, this is the atypical quote unquote black girl, but everybody can relate to her. And her personality is like corny, like a Seinfeld show, but it's like the stuff that she goes through is so comical because we all have been there. You have this really smart girl who's stuck in a job that she hates, who can't find a man, but when she gets in her car, she listens to the ratchet of the most ratchet music, and nobody would ever expect that. I guess because she has a fro.
Exactly. I was gonna get to that. About us. That's why I say take us outside of the box. I know Keisha and I were talking once, and we were at 559. Where were we? 252. Yeah.
Definitely not at 559.
Oh, that's close. That's close. You're right. I know it was something with a couple numbers on here clear. Hey, I'm getting old. Don't judge me. But you know, it's like, and we were talking about, you know, if we were ratchet, who would we be?
Oh, yeah.
And you know, because people make you feel like you can't be educated, but when you get in, you know, a car or wherever, like you can't like feel what Young Thug's saying. Like I know with my students, they were saying, Miss Julia, you listen to that? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, but, and I'm like, but what? This is art. You know, stop saying you can't do this because you look a certain way. Or, you know, stop it. We got to stop. Black girls don't do this. Well, there's a lot of things black girls have been doing for a very long time. You may not have known about it. But, you know, it's kind of like, oh, gosh, and I hate to get into even a sexual thing. But it's like for years and people are like, black girls don't give head. Black girls been giving head forever. They just didn't tell you about it. So it's just kind of like, so, I mean, and that's what I really love about social media now, because you can see globally how there's so many people like you. Like before, you know, I read comics. I used to collect comics as a kid, still do, got a big box of them. And people made me feel like that was weird. I was a typical weirdo growing up, still am. I've embraced it, it's cool. But it's like now I meet people, or you can just click on a hashtag and see all these people that look like you, that even don't look like you, that share the same thing. I used to be ashamed about being an introvert. I used to force myself to be an extrovert. Now I'm like, Keisha's an introvert. All these people are introverts, and it's just like, it's cool. We don't have to be loud, or we don't have to be super educated, because that's where black women lie. It's either you're extremely loud and ignorant in people's mind, or you have to be highly educated. And there's no middle ground. There's no middle ground.
Be educated and be able to be a friendly people person.
Exactly. Or you either
or be married.
Exactly.
When you're real smart, you definitely don't have a husband. That's what America tells us.
Especially in Atlanta.
Oh, and I don't have a husband in Atlanta if you're not smart.
I know that's a lot.
Y'all are smart.
But that's the thing, where our vagina comes with terms and conditions for too long. Don't do this. Girls don't do that. You know, girls don't climb trees. Girls don't wrestle with boys. You know, girls don't do this. Girls don't do that. Oh, you're too much of a free spirit. You're too much of a party girl. Don't no man want you. You can't cook. Girl, you don't know how to keep a house. Girl, you can't wash clothes. I guarantee you somebody's going to marry you. Once you're cool with you and you figure out who you are, you're good. We got to stop that. We got to stop making women feel like every day of their life they're applying for the job of a wife. What if you don't want to be one?
Right.
Has anybody ever thought about that? What if you don't want to be a mother and a wife? Is that a curse? You just...
In America it is.
Girl, you
But again, yeah, like you say, in America, and all of these different stereotypes and all of these different ideas come from the media and what they put out there and make us, and how they define these different things. So, like you said, it goes back to the BET network, or how can we create a network or a strong force and put it out there and correct these things. It's going to be
though, right?
I hope so.
Is going towards that.
Oh, I've seen some stuff on Century.
and I really like Century.
The reason why I say that is because I know I'm naive as far as how I think of race, and that we all can live holding hands and ISIS can go away and all of that nonsense, but I don't think we should continue segregating ourselves. Yes, we need to have our own network, but do we need to have our own network? Like, can we
That's the first thing that came to my mind. Like, do we really need
do we need to have our own network?
Maybe we
we don't have to have our own. We don't have to. I think
maybe we do. Like right now, maybe we do.
My thing is,
Right.
or getting more teaming up and getting more involved in some of the networks that are already out there. Moving
Because Shonda Rhimes is tearing it up. She got her third show coming out this season.
Right, like how do you get in there, get in the mix? Right. But how do you get in the mix? It doesn't have to be our own network, but how do you get in the midst of all of these different shows and these networks and actually correct it and change the images that
without
put out? It doesn't have to be our own network, but I mean, if we're going to correct the imaging, we have to position ourselves in the right places or kind of, you know, try to
But before, because this is a good topic, but we need to move on to my next question. So this next question is important to me, and it's so difficult to maintain good, wholesome female friendships, but do you ever just outgrow a friend? And the reason I say that is because friendships have been difficult for me in the beginning stages of my life. And just now at 30, I have formed my circle. I have my people, and that's it. I don't need nobody else. I don't need friends like Drake. I'm good. And it took a while to get it to that point because you were trying out people. It's like dating, you know, meeting new friends. This isn't a good fit. This person's a sellout. This person tried to date my boyfriend or whatever, you know, real talk. And now, you know, you have these people, but some people you just kind of lose along the way, not at any fault that they've done anything, but just because you feel as if you've grown and gone into different directions.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
Why no new friends?
I'm an introvert. And I get anxiety meeting new people, and because of...
You met me?
True.
But then you had people to vouch for me.
Right.
So that was a different
And we're, I mean, I'm Mary Davis, so
yeah.
forever. So, and I'm just guarded to let certain females in. Now, I am social at work or, you know, things that I'm passionate about. I'm not going to be, you know, a snob or whatever, but I just don't trust. I feel like I'm a good friend, and I don't just give my good friendship out to anybody.
I'm gonna get, and I hope I can get through this without rambling on for too long and getting too emotional about this, because this is something that personally hits me, and we've talked at length about this, Keisha. And absolutely, you outgrow people all the time. And let me tell you what I had to learn about myself and about friendships. Would you stay in an abusive relationship? Would you stay in an abusive relationship? So why the hell do we stay in abusive friendships? Why do we stay in friendships with people?
Do you stay in an abusive friendship?
I don't think so. Do I?
Why do we stay in friendships with people that talk down to us, that compete with us constantly, people that want to be supportive, pick and choose? If that was a spouse, would you deal with it? So why the hell do we deal with it in all of sense, in the name of sisterhood? And I'm saying it, and I'm so passionate about this because it's something that I dealt with for years, where I would constantly excuse the bad and misbehavior as a friend. Like Keisha, I'm an introvert. I don't have a lot of friends. I went to school with a lot of people, had classes with them, but anybody that knows me knows that I had maybe 2 or 3 people that I hung with constantly in college, in high school. That's just kind of how I am, just because being around a lot of people is physically draining and emotionally draining for me, and I need time to recharge. Like after this, I'm gonna have to go lock myself into a room, and I'm going to have to recharge for a couple hours. It's the same thing with my family. Sometimes I have to lock myself away from my husband and my child, and I have to recharge because it's a lot for me. But we excuse female friends for a lot of things. We'll be like, F that dude, F him, you know, I ain't dealing with that. But when it comes to our friends, they can do a lot of stuff and we forgive them in the name of sisterhood. But it's abuse. Friends can be abusive as well. They may not physically harm you, but they leave such a scar and a stamp on your heart and your spirit. And like I say, I'm going to try to get through this without tearing up, because for so long I've dealt with so many people that in the name of friendship, because I don't have any siblings. I have siblings, but I don't have any sisters. I don't have any biological sisters. So my entire life, it's been a trek for an excursion for a woman that related to me, but no one ever really did, not, you know, onto a great extent. And for me, instead of me, them learning from me, and, you know, making it be